Hello, my dear crafters. So for those of you who are card makers, I am sure that you get tired of making cards that look kind of, in terms of shape, the same. So I have been playing with my dies. I have a few sets of nesting dies, and I decided to start making cards that are unusual in terms of shape. And that's what I use the dies for. So today I'm going to show you some of these cards, and I will show you the two ways in which you can do this, okay? We're using one of my dies, but really you can use any shape of dies that you have. Let me just give you some examples. So this one is scalloped, see? And I use the full die here. And this one just opens up like that. So very, very nice. It's a very simple thing to do, very simple technique that makes all the difference. It's not just the boring rectangle card that you find everywhere. This will make your cards pop. So that's one example. When you have a die, you can use it two ways. You can either use it to give the shape just to the right side here. It's not the whole die, so it's on the left side here, it's just straight. It's a straight line. So that's how what I did here. And these are the two techniques I'll show you. Or you can use the full die. Do you see the difference? So this is the full die here, and you can do either one, and you can open to the left, horizontal or vertical, it doesn't matter. So I made a card here using the full die. I'll show you how to do both, okay? So that's the same die, see, a little bit different shape. And the great thing about nesting dies is that you can use the smaller ones to create this border here that makes it pop as well. Very simple to make. This is the same thing. So I have a die here. Let me show you the die. So for this one, I use these nesting dies here. See? That's where it comes from. So that's how you use it. I'll show you the die that I use for this. For this one here, these are the nesting dies that I used. I will find some that are inexpensive for you, and I'll link them below, okay? So this one, again, this is the full die here. I use the full thing, and the other one is just a little bit different. It doesn't have, see, if you don't use the full die, this one won't have this little, what do you call this? Like this little tiny holes, like faux stitching, but same thing here. I use the die, very simple, just use white paper here and a beautiful sentiment. For this one, and that's the one that we're going to use today. This is my favorite nesting dies. I absolutely love this one. I use it so much. And I've used it to make these two cards. Look how beautiful it is. See? Again, the full die. And if you want, because it's a little bit simpler, you will see the process next. And you can just have on the left side here. So see, there's no glue, nothing, it's just a piece of paper, and there you go. So let's move to the tutorial, and I'll show you how to do these two effects and two techniques. But it does make a difference. You are going to love it, and this adds so many possibilities to your cards. So let's learn how to do that. So we're going to start with the quicker technique. This one is the card that you have actually a straight line on the left, and let me show you which one that is. Kind of lost my cards here. Yeah, so that's the shape that we're going to use. So we're going to do this one first. That opens up. It's just one sheet of paper that you fold, but it's going to be straight here, and it's not the full shape of the die, okay? So that's a very easy one, because we're going to get the die that you're going to use. I'm going to use the bigger one. Let me see if I have enough for, yeah. So you get a piece of paper that fits your die twice, because we're going to fold this paper here in kind of in half, and we're just basically going to run it through your cutting machine folded like this. We're gonna cut both papers at once. And what you do to make sure that it's going to be straight here is that you are going to keep the end of your die, the part that cuts, hanging out like that. Okay, so off the paper. Make sure it's not on the paper. Let me get my machine and we're going to run through it. So I have my Scalloped, an old one. I'm going to add a piece of paper just to make sure that it will go through. So see, this is hanging out here. There's nothing that cuts on the left. So I'm just gonna make sure that it's well positioned. I'm gonna put a shim here just because it's gonna cut through. This paper is quite thick. So let's run it through the machine. I'm gonna go twice, just go and come back. I've had this Scalloped for, you guys know, that doesn't even exist in the market anymore. So, but it works just fine. So I am not buying another one, that's for sure. So I have the die here. Let's move that aside. And there you are. We have our paper totally cut, and where we had the fold, it's gonna stay. So you have, that's why this side here is straight, okay? So this is easier because you don't have to use glue or anything. And I already, let me zoom in for you. This is a little bit too far for you. I already use, and that's the great thing about the nesting dies, just like I did here. I did the same thing here. So we used the bigger one. And then I got this one, which is the next one in line, and I cut. It's also from the same paper pad. And let me show you which one I'm using. You've seen this before. It's by Park Lane. It's called Nice List. That's from last year, 2023. And there, from the paper itself, I already had this cut apart, and I used the same die just to keep the same shape. And there you are. You have a beautiful, beautiful card, and it's ready to go. And again, it's a different shape, and people will look at it and say, wow, that's a beautiful card because it's so unusual. So use your nesting dies. I will find as many as I can, and I'll have it listed below. This is my favorite one, so I'll see if I can find this one because it's really, really unusual shape. And there you are. You have a beautiful card. All I need to do now is maybe add some enamel dots here, or maybe some bling, and inside I'll add a piece of paper that is white so people can write on it, and you have a card that is very different shape and beautiful. So that's the first idea for you, and I thought this would be great, and that's why I'm doing as my last video of my Christmas in July, because in 2 months, 2.5 months, I will start my Christmas craft fair series, and as you know, it lasts 3 months, and this is great for Christmas. So you already know the technique, okay? Christmas in July, ending with cards because we all make them. Now let's move to the second way to do it, which is by just leaving the shape as it is. So we're going to basically cut twice, okay? Let's do that. So now what we need to do now is just cut 2 of these, and this one I'm going to position it right here because I want that to be the front of my card. All I need to do is add a sentiment here, and I'll do that later. So let me get again my cutting machine. This one is pretty easy too. It's not complicated at all. So I'm gonna put this through and position it where I want it, because I want our dear friend Santa Claus right in front of my card. That's what I want to be the front. The back I already cut because you don't need to see me doing this twice. So I'm just gonna move this. Isn't this die fantastic? I love it. I've had this one for, I don't know, 10 years or so. Maybe more. I think more. Probably more. So there you are. So we have 2 pieces of paper here. This is going to be the front. This is going to be the back. So there you are. And I love that this paper is double-sided. Again, I'm going to use the next nesting die, cut a piece of white paper and put inside so people can write on it. But basically, guys, what you do here is very easy. You're going to get the front part. We are going to get our folding, not folding, oh my goodness, scoring board. So there you go. So on your scoring board, you are going to, and let me zoom in for you, you are just going to score once on the left side here. Enough that is, here I'm going to score on 3/4 of an inch, okay? And you just press your die all the way to the, here to the left, and just score at 3/4 of an inch. And there you go. That's all you need to do. That's really very simple. And we're going to gently fold this. And what we're going to do is add glue here, and we're going to glue to the left side, and then you have your card that used the whole shape of the die. That's the only difference. The other one, the first one that I showed you, you used a folded paper, sheet of paper, so that you only used one sheet of paper. Well, yeah, one sheet of paper. I guess that's the right way to do it. So you make sure that this is perfectly aligned here, see? You want to make sure that the die is very well aligned, and then you come here and you press it down. Use your bone folder, because this is where your card is going to open like this. How easy is that? See? That's all you need to do. Not complicated at all. So use your papers, guys, and make some fun cards that are different, have a different shape. See, so that's the end. Let me see the end result. You have one that is straight. It's easier to make because you're just gonna cut once. It's faster, but it's personal preference, honestly. Do whatever you love. Do you, I'll do me. See, even from this paper here, I will cut this see, the rest of the paper that I have, Merry and Bright, and I can just use it here, Merry and Bright. That's what I do with this kind of paper pads. I use as much as I can from it. So I'll get the Merry and Bright, put it here, and you have your card. So there you go. That's your tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed my series, my Christmas in July series, and I have just given you some more inspiration on how to use the dies that you have and kind of stretch what you have to be more creative. So I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you thought of my my series. It was a short one. Get ready, do subscribe, because very soon I start my series on craft fairs, and I know that you guys love it. These are the videos that I have like 100,000 views, because everyone is glued to my craft fair, because I teach you so many gifts that you can make for your loved ones for Christmas. And that's coming up in about 2 months. So do subscribe so that you know what's coming up and you can follow my channel, okay? There you are. Thank you so much for your time and for spending your Christmas in July time with me. Thank you so much, and you have a great day.